Cool. Master O'Mahoney, how are you doing? You good?
Good.
It's great for you to take the time to chat, and you're the sort of guinea pig on this. This is the first Skype call I've done interview-wise, so
Yeah,
I know
I'm very busy at schedule at the minute, have doing nothing. You know, so you're lucky to get me.
I'm very blessed. We're all very blessed. I really appreciate you taking the time to chat to us, and sort of in the times that we're in, it's nice to sort of get the community together and sort of talk about what we do and what we enjoy. And you know, I think this is a good opportunity, and also a great opportunity for other people who mightn't be aware of all of the other instructors. And you know, it's nice to get a different perspective. I know you've been in Taekwondo a long time, so I'm sure you'll have you know, a different perspective and stuff that we just don't know, that you've just picked up from years of being on the block, you know. So yeah. I think that'll be really interesting. So I mean, yeah, like let's get into it. So Master Adrian O'Mahoney, 7th degree black belt, instructor in Kingdom Taekwondo's in Kerry, international umpire, and member of the ITA board of directors. Have I missed other qualifications or anything else? All round good guy.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool. So, I mean, tell me more about why Taekwondo. Where did your Taekwondo journey start for people who don't know?
Started Taekwondo in 1982. Couple of my mates. Where I lived, there was a little kind of a community centre, and some of my mates had started in there with a guy who brought it to Kerry. He's now Master Pat McCarthy, based in England. He was one of Mr. Adrian Walsh's students from Cork. Have travelled to Tralee and started working from here and opened up a club. I'd done all the usual. I'd done the football, the soccer, the boxing, all that. You know, they were all stuff that I tried, and they were okay at the time. Started Taekwondo, and it was just, as I would say, literally, it's like as the Australians would say, it's like Vegemite. You either like it or you don't. And
yeah.
once I got it, it's hooks into me. That was this. It was an instant love affair then, which has kept me going this year, 38 years, you know. So
super achievement. 38 years is you know, that's some going. I mean, and what was it about Taekwondo that, I mean, if you were doing all these other sports, what was the thing? Is there anything you can put your finger on and go, oh, it was this day or this moment? Or
I think what it was is, I suppose what I've seen with other sports, other things, it was, especially in the early 80s, a lot of it was who you knew, who your parents were. You know, I'm from a big family. There's 9 in my family.
Wow.
So, like, you know, unemployment was a big thing here in Kerry at the time. So to me, it didn't matter what effort you gave in. It was kind of who you knew.
Right.
With Taekwondo, it didn't matter. If you put in the effort, you progressed, and that was that. It was that quite simple. So it didn't show anything to anyone that was someone's son or someone's daughter. If you came in and did the work, you got the rewards. It was that simple. You came to grading, it didn't matter who you were.
Yeah.
Especially if you've ever done any gradings with Mr. Adrian Walsh, that made no difference to him. You came out, you performed, you were successful. You didn't perform.
Yeah, it's something I say to my students all the time. Taekwondo's very fair that way. You're either at the standard or you're not. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you can say it's very fair, or it discriminates against everybody.
Yeah, it's a nice way of looking at it as well. I mean, cool. So, I mean, like, this is Kerry in the early 80s training away. And were you training in Tralee? Is that where the club was?
Yeah, literally where I grew up is a place called Hawley Park. And there was a community centre there, St. Bridget's Community Centre. And so I had 30 seconds to get to class.
So that might have helped as well.
Yeah, and even then, as I got a bit older than that, like 86 or so, I got a part-time job as a 82, 83, I got a part-time job working in a bar. So that was, which is obviously not allowed now. Mm-hmm. But so I interfered with the nights I was training, so I had to kind of miss it for a year or two.
Right.
And then I met one of the guys that was a red belt black tag at the time, and he said, yeah, they'd change the nights. So it was like, woo, back at it straight away. And literally from then, I haven't stopped training.
Great. So, I mean, and like nowadays, when I look at the ITA and look at the other organizations and look at the standard, the ITF and the organization of everything, like, Can you give us a sense of the difference between where we are now and where we were and where we've come from? Because a lot of people come and training nowadays mightn't get that sense now, and I know from talking to other instructors that it's just we're so much more on than where we were, and I suppose, like, what do you think the difference is now, in the sense that we've come from, it was really kind of tribal nearly in the way Taekwondo was organized, and it's a little bit more professional nowadays. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Just kind of.
That was actually my thesis for my 7th degree.
Yeah,
where I started and where we are now, because where I started was would have been originally RITA.
Okay.
And then when that had stopped, in the sense of the group we were with, the people we were with, had went with Grandmaster Heel Cho, AMA.
Yeah. So
it was hip twists, just full on power. Terminology and information on Taekwondo was nothing. We didn't do Taekwondo. We did a kind of a slap to the slide.
Yeah.
You did the oath and stuff like that, but you didn't. Our terminology was basic. What we learned from Mr. Walsh, which was yop chaggy and stuff like that. That was basically it. So then, I would say in 1995, we did a 5-day IIC with General Choi in Dublin, with Grandmaster Ree there and his son as their chaperone, Andrew Ree. And our minds were blown. This was a guy. It's like somebody you'd say you were drinking from the source, from the well.
Absolutely.
Like, you could ask a question, and you knew he had the answer. I know a lot of us in the early days, the translation side, we couldn't get what he was saying, because, again, the man's, General Choi's language was Korean, not English.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was a question that was too academically worded, you were told to sit down, because you knew it wasn't going to get to him. And right. that was the higher grade saying you could sit down. That was it. But just being around him, like that's what I've always loved. I've always loved, from either being at a competition to being at an international competition, being to a seminar, you come away feeling that you need to learn more and you feel more invigorated. When you're left after him, you just went, wow, I know nothing of Taekwondo. This is the man that knows this. And you just, right? At that stage, I bought the condensed encyclopedia. I bought the Legacy CD that was out at the time.
Okay.
Spent hours just pressing stop, start, learning Hana, Toll, Set, Ned, terminology. I suppose it just gave a new interpretation of it. And then to 1999, when we brought him in ourselves in Trinity, tested myself that time for 4th grade, but didn't pass. But, we were at, I won't say meetings, but you came to where it was his birthday at the time, and there was a cake and all that. We were all there for that. Like, you were just in awe of the man.
Yeah, it's nice. That's like, that's not a lot of people have had that opportunity or experience.
Well, yeah, hugely now, yeah. And even then, that was hitting 99, 2000. Yeah. I got my 4th grade 2000. We started to develop them, because that's when we started to look at amalgamating different groups with like-minded people that wanted to just train. Okay, there was stuff going on politically and all that stuff, but as the group, then we just started to push on with, listen, you know what? Let's start training. Let's start making ourselves better. So a lot of our groups going to IICs, like, as you know yourself, Master Weekly is like a permanent fixture at IICs at this stage.
Absolutely, yeah.
You'd like the Mr. Ryan, Mr. Byrne heading to Poland, to the summer camps, Master Buckley, the summer camps, and just coming back with so much knowledge. But what was fantastic is getting the knowledge, but passing it on to everybody else.
I was just going to say, yeah, it's not like it was just, I have this secret now and it makes me better and I can keep this edge on people. It was just real, you get that sense of knowledge share is really, really strong.
Massive. So. Look, I've always said, Mr. Ryan will always say it, and like, I'd always say he's, no disrespect to him, he's like our poster boy for the ITA. But he always said, listen, guys, kicking ability, flexibility, being good at what you're doing, there's no rocket science to it. If you want to go and put in the work, you can have it too. There's the difference if you want to go in and put in the work. He's always said that.
Yeah.
People always say, "Oh, sorry, your kicking is fantastic." He said, "Well, go and do the work, and so will yours."
Yeah, it's amazing that the more I train, the luckier I get, kind of philosophy.
Yeah, and look, I have always said that. You know, people say, "Oh, you're very lucky. You're the grade you are." I said, "Yeah, you're dead right. I'm lucky. I got up and I trained. I'm lucky that I went to the gym. I'm lucky. I sought out people to train with. You're dead right. Luck is a massive part to play with it."
So, I mean, let me go back in time then a bit. So, I mean, you're training away in Tralee. When did you take your first degree black belt? It's
1990. To check my certs, I'm lucky. Obviously, I'm a single parent, but my living room is.
Yeah.
That's all the certs on the wall. So, super. 92.
92, and that was in Ireland, or did you have to travel for that?
No, it was in Ireland. That was with Grandmaster Heel Show.
Yeah.
1994, second degree with Heel Show, and then after that, the rest were ITF.
Right, very cool. And coming through the grades and early black belt grades, was there a big competitive scene like there is nowadays, or was that?
You had one competition a year when I was a colour belt, and even up to the black belt, one competition a year, which was our national tournament. You know, which for us in Kerry was travelling to Dublin. That was a 4.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
And back in the day, you had a lot of people that would be a green belt for 3 years because they wanted to win all the competitions.
Yeah, right.
Whereas because there's a higher frequency of tournaments now, you're going to say, like, listen, that guy's been a green belt for 2 years. What's going on here? And I suppose it's shooting because of our standard now. Even if you are staying green belt for 2 years, they're not finding it easy to win tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, it's something I've noticed big time at the competitions. There's no easy matches in any divisions anywhere nowadays. It's like the standard is outrageous nowadays. A
huge part of that obviously is down to the instructors, the system of Taekwondo we teach. I could honestly say if you came to my hall and taught, or I came to your hall and taught, people wouldn't find a whole lot of difference bar our individual styles of teaching. Yeah. What we're teaching is very much the same, which is, I think that's been our success story. The system has been what it is, and we all use the same system. Competition is the same then. I mean, you have some very competitive clubs. Yeah. And they're the guys who are always winning.
Well, that's the ethos, right? And that's what you want to build for. That's fair enough, you know. Yeah. Do you think that there's an overemphasis on the importance of competition in Taekwondo in Ireland nowadays, or do you think it's holistically balanced?
Do you know what? I think it's down to individual instructors and their clubs. I would say, because I can see it from both sides. To me, there's a huge learning curve by competing. Yeah. You can be the best in your club at sparring, and you go up to a competition and you realize you're out in the first round. Yeah. So that can be a great learning curve for you, or vice versa. It can be where you've decided, do you know what, last 3 competitions I'm not doing well, and you put in the effort and you start pushing in the clubs, and all of a sudden you're getting to the third round for quarterfinals. You're leaving with a medal. It's fantastic. But the other side then is if you became where you only did, as we class, pure Taekwondo. So you're doing technical sparring, which is, you know, kicking to the back, elbows, all that type of stuff. You don't really get a chance to use it. You can't go out and have an old fight with your mate there, and pop a few elbows off his head. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you can try and balance it all with a mixture of your part in just sparring, the drills, hitting stuff. I've always loved hitting stuff. You know, it's brilliant.
Therapeutic.
It is. Get in some of the self-defense. I mean, to me, you don't have to spend massive hours with kids trying to teach them 10 different things. Teach them 2 or 3 things that they can grasp very quick. They're going to pick it up a lot quicker. I'll do it. I'll quote Bruce Lee. You know, No point doing 10,000 different kicks once. Do one kick 10,000 times and you've mastered it.
Yeah.
Self-defense is the same basic stuff. Stick at it with them and you'll see that they pick it up very, very fast. I suppose, look, I'm quite lucky. I was able to go full-time with Taekwondo in 2008. I used to be a postman. I gave up that. And you're always trying to, you're watching everything saying, right, this is what's kind of going at the minute. I want to do this. I want to do that. It's simple. With teaching, you keep it basic, make it learnable. That's the huge thing. And the massive part is, if it's not fun, no one's going to want to come training. Me as a full-time instructor, if I'm not enjoying my class, I don't want to be there myself.
Yeah, and it's a huge part. I know myself when I'm going down to teach some nights, having you might have had a rougher day at work and stuff's not coming together that way. There's nothing. You check that at the door and you go into instructor mode.
Get in there with the attitude of, listen, we're going to have fun. We're going to try and make sure you all guys learn. If you have questions, come at me better with the questions. We'll try not to spend too long being, when I'm trying to give a 7 degrees answer to a blue belt, I'm going, listen, I'm going to give you the basic answer I can give you. If you want to come back to me with more questions, then I know you're someone that's very interested. And anytime I'll do the same with, if I've got someone, like I have an assistant instructor, Miss Donnelly, or I'll have some of the high rates or the black belts, break into groups, say, right, grab them, you teach Dangun, Dosan, blah, blah, blah. And I always go to them before they go, remember, you're not trying to give your knowledge to them. You're a first degree, you're a second degree. When they ask you a question, all they want is that answer that they can understand. If you're going to go on the route, well, you need to have this done and it has to be this, you have to use this kind of motion. They don't want that. Give them the basic answer, see if they're learning it, and push on from there.
Yeah, that time to action when you're coaching, it's really important, right? So
massive.
It's easy to spend ages pontificating away about, look how much I know.
I've done that. Listen,
look, we all have, right?
At the end, you realise that was a quick pass.
Yeah, and everyone's asleep on the floor.
I'm lucky. I've a couple of my black belts that will go, sorry, yeah, listen, you spend a lot of time talking in that class tonight.
It's nice.
I just explained a few things, but you had a story within the story.
And that's cool. Yeah. That's really interesting because I'm the same. I have class assistants and they'll come to me and they'll call me out on bits and pieces, and I, as an instructor, encourage that and welcome that. Whereas
massively, because listen, the day I think I know all about Taekwondo, and don't ask me questions and daren't pull me up and stuff. So that's the day I should pack it in.
Yeah. It's an interesting one.
I'm very lucky, because of my job. And because I'm a single parent, so I only have my daughter the weekends. My 2 older boys come with me the weekends, but they're 22 and 30. So on a Tuesday when I finish in the stall at 7 o'clock, 9 times out of 10, I'm driving on to Mallow to train with Master Buckley in Mallow.
Very good.
So I'm in there nearly every Tuesday with these guys doing whatever I'm told to do.
Yeah. That's nice.
And I love it because it means I'm active. And in fairness, Master Buckley doesn't give me any quarters. It's just,
That'd be Master Buckley, though, wouldn't it?
Get in. You're going, I'm flat there, sir. To use a cock word, I go, I'm flat, sir. He'd say, get in there.
It's nice. It's one of the hardest things I've noticed when you're an instructor is to keep up your own training and not just to get caught teaching all the time. And it's really important, right? The whole thing of do as I say and not as I do, how it comes into it otherwise,
Massively.
It's nice to be able to sort of say, if we're going to do this, it's going to look like this and I can do it and therefore you should be able to, or I'm going to try to do it and therefore so should you,
I do it every week. Master Buckley knows. He's watching me above as I'm training and he's going, I can see him. He's stealing all these ideas, isn't he? Of course I am. Just listen, mimicry is the best form of flattery. I'm stealing everything off him, coming back down thinking, okay, will this work with my guys? Won't this? But it keeps that ticking over all the time.
Yeah.
I'm also looking at stuff. I'm researching. I'm thinking of stuff. I'll go back sometimes to when I was a black belt, and you get the rose tinted glasses on, thinking Taekwondo was way tougher when I was a black belt. And you think, it was, but it was also a bit more dangerous because if you came into clash with them sparring gear, sure, spar away anyway.
Yeah, we'll deal with the consequences afterwards.
Yeah,
There was no guard of vetting and child protection then.
Oh, yeah, there was, yeah.
But so talk to me a little bit about when did you decide to go from student to instructor? When did you open a club, or did you inherit a club, or how did that work for you?
No, to be honest, I'd gone from my original instructor because he'd moved away, and then another guy took over. I was with him for a few years. He stopped, and then another guy took over, so I was with him. Passed my black belt 92, and I wanted to teach. As it was, I was his senior student, and kind of by default, I was teaching most of the classes anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, listen, why not do this? Why not pass this on to other people? Like, I'm quite lucky. I always had a big group of friends,
mm-hmm.
and it was always great to test out stuff that you learned, which I don't encourage now. It was, grab me from behind, and I do this, and I lock up your arms and hit you, and get me a headlock, and you'd hop them off the ground, and it was fun. But like,
for you anyway,
because of the age I was, that was normal. Like, to be out with your mates, the bit of fun was to jump on them and grab them in a headlock, and we'd fight on the ground without killing each other. You'd fight.
Yeah, okay.
Normal. You see that now when someone's after intervening and they have them up and they've got a mediator in between them, and So I just thought, this would be a fantastic way of passing it on to other people. Mm-hmm. And I got a great buzz off of teaching people.
Yeah, it is. It's a nice buzz.
I started teaching in Castle Island, which is just outside of Tralee, around 92. I did that for a couple of years where I thumbed in and out from Tralee. Thumbed in and out twice a week until eventually I got a motorbike myself, and I was in and out with it. And then for a while with the group we were with, it was stagnating. So I kind of bored the teaching. So I passed the club on to her, and I
might be losing
started to kind of. I also myself instructor, Master Mike, now a Master Mike, opened a school to. It was kind of just we needed to do something else. He kind of died after that. He didn't teach really not for much longer after that. So I was teaching with another guy, and then we were starting to do stuff. We were starting to interact with the Master Wheelies and the Mr. Ryans, and and I just loved the fact that I was teaching people, and I could see them progressing, and the shy person coming in the door to like hitting green belt, blue belt, where they were helping teach this, and I was going, look at this, like, this is amazing. And even me myself, when I started, I tell this to the students, they don't believe me. When I started at 11 years of age, a good friend of mine from where I live, David Sullivan, David brought me in. David had talked to to anyone.
Yeah.
He introduced me to an instructor. I didn't speak to an instructor probably for 6 months. Yeah. I was in the class. I could be bursting to go to the toilet. I wouldn't. I was literally, but I was reared. Like my father's 75 now. I was reared of kid to be seen and not heard, and speak when you're spoken to.
Right.
So I was very, very, very shy, painfully shy, and it's Taekwondo that's brought me out of that. Like, I only ever spoke to my friends, nobody else. If a new person came along, I was the last to speak to them.
Yeah. It's amazing to see. I've seen it in my own students. Kids have come into me and they've been, shy and quiet and won't move, and their personalities, it just evolves and comes out of them. It's amazing to see. It really is. And I think that's true of all kind of sports, not just Taekwondo.
My assistant instructor, as it is now, Miss Donnelly, she's with me since she's 6. She's turning 19 soon. Wow. She would hardly say hi to me, and you barely get a few words. And I remember I wanted to get someone to assist with classes, and I remember thinking to myself, look, she's very good at what she does. She's fantastic at Taekwondo, but she's painfully shy. And I said, would you be interested in coming in and helping with classes? And all of a sudden, she won't shut up now, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, she knows all the kids' names. She knows everyone. She's fantastic at it. She's loving it. And I just thought, wow, if we can do that for someone, this is the side of it that people don't see.
Yeah.
suppose they don't see the growth, the personal growth. That's the huge part.
Yeah, and it's a different kind of satisfaction, you know. It's
massively, and in fact, even though, you know, where we social interaction is a huge part of Taekwondo, it's very much an individual sport.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
You can do stuff with people. You can have a great bond with the people. You can have great crack coming in, training, you know, sparring with that guy. He got you last week. I got him this week. My partner was sharp. Source of my partner was better this week than yours.
Yeah.
The development of what you do is very much down to what you're doing at home.
Yeah, I know, right? What you do outside of that 2-3 sessions a week is where that's where the money is, isn't it?
Hugely.
So you know, the club has been, you start teaching, you grow the club a little bit, and when did was it the AITA that would have come on the scene first, or the ITA, or before that?
AITA was after the RITA, kind of, we had a few splits in the RITA. It was the AITA that was formulated, Mr. Walsh.
Mm-hmm.
And down the road then, some of us just wouldn't have been happy with how things were going, and we, Master Cooley, would have started the ITA. But we were always doing stuff together. We were bringing in Master Hutton and stuff like that. Like Stephen Ryan and Brian Cloughan and all these guys were still coming to it. And like at the time, our ITA would have been Master Cooley, Mr. Byrne, myself, Master Murphy, one or two more, and then Master Buckley got involved as well, and that's my friendship with him started. I was in Cork with An Puss doing a first aid course in the Montanati Hotel.
Oh, very nice.
Teaching somewhere around, and I messaged him if it was okay to come along and train. I landed down and trained with him, and after that I started going up every Saturday.
Great.
And that was the ITA at the time, and I suppose like after a while there was talks of General Choi wanted people to start kind of working together.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose because we were closer than we were with the INTA, the AITA and the ITA were a bit closer because we kind of worked together and did stuff. We looked at formulating a merger, which we did.
Yeah. And that's what became the modern ITA, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, it's in a really strong place now. I mean, you can see the standard, and you can see the community in that association it's a nice thing to be a part of, and it's something to be very proud of. I think
we have a great standing internationally from any group. Obviously, with hosting different, we started with IICs and stuff like that. Like I hosted, obviously with the board and that, 2 IICs here in Kerry. We started hosting IICs in Dublin. We started hosting IUCs.
Mm-hmm.
We were always strong at events. We were always at IICs. We were always pushing all the time. And then obviously to get to World Championship that time and then win it, to be the best country, which is, you know, people might say, oh, but on an Ireland, sure, you were going to win. You're going, no, guys, you don't get it. If someone from Ireland was on, there was no umpire from Ireland.
Yeah.
So people that won because their merits, that was it. So yeah, it's a great standing internationally. Like as I said, Master Wheatley is nearly a permanent fixture at IICs. So it likes the Grandmaster Land, Grandmaster Morano, Grandmaster The Cure, all these guys know the likes of Master Wheatley and a lot of us on first name basis because we're at him so often.
Which is nice, you know, I mean.
See the standard that we have coming forward. They like our approach. They like our protocol of what we do. Like if you decided you want to test for 5th degree, and we didn't have any high grades here to do it for you, you can only go when Mr. Ryan signed your form, and they'll check. They'll go. You never signed that form. And they go, yeah, he's not testing. Well, he's put himself forward. No, he won't be testing.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah,
it's brilliant.
Yeah, and again, it speaks volumes to the standards of Taekwondo around the place, because there's a lot of strange martial arts out there, and it's nice to have a bit of a continuity and a bit of a process to back up what you're putting out.
You know what? Look, and I can say this with a lot of honesty. I mean, for years we would have looked at other groups with with a bit of snobbery, thinking, you know, where ITF, where ITF, where the best, blah blah blah. And look at the standard they have; it's shockingly bad. Of course, you have to look back at what were they being taught, who were they learning it from, and if that's the best they were learning, well then it's wrong to have a snobbery about you to say, you know, ours is better.
And especially, you know, given our own history, like we weren't always at this standard that we, you know.
This is exactly it. I do find us sometimes when we get inquiries from different people about maybe wanting to join, and they think, oh my God, you have to do this, this, and this. It can be hard, but it's no different than being in a job.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, we need to upskill you to go to this.
It's worth it in the long run. It's definitely worth it for the members in the long run to sort of put the effort in.
And not even that. Look at what it gives you opportunities to go to. Like I one of my guys go to one of the squads. He went up to a few of the squads.
Yeah.
He was a good sparrer in my club. He got hockeyed above. Hockey. But he came back down. He said, loved it. He says, the guys chatted to me afterwards and said, like, you kept rushing in, so you were wide open for the side kick. You kept doing this, you were open for that. He went
that learning opportunity there is just huge for people, right?
He went for lunch with them. They chatted, and he said these guys were quite friendly. Whereas the I suppose the feeling out there might be if you went in there, they're going to kill you.
Yeah.
They're only happy to see someone coming into a national squad, giving it a try, and maybe you might go in and start, you know, beating some of them, or maybe you're coming in and they can see the mistakes you're making, and after a while they're telling you, sure, that's a learning curve.
Yeah, big time. It's always good to have a different perspective, you know. I'm curious. I'm going to change tack a little bit with you, if you don't mind, because you have a really, really good pedigree as an international umpire. And where did that kind of desire to go become a world referee come from, or any particular attraction to that? What was the reasoning behind that? You know,
if I was to give a very straight and blunt answer, yeah, I'm not a competitor.
Okay.
You know, my instructor never brought us to competitions, and the few I did try it in, because obviously no competition training for us, I just didn't do well in them.
Yeah.
I tried some of the World Cups. I got a bronze in Riva del Garda, I think, for patterns. Tore against me in my knee sparring, you know, at that. But had a fantastic tournament. Met so many friends from it.
Yeah.
And then because also I was hitting up on a higher grade.
Yeah.
I just knew competition wasn't going to be something I was going to do well at.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? From being at a lot of ISCs and Grandmaster Boston, the guys going, listen, you can have different paths in Taekwondo, you know that. There's a path of being a leader, there's a path of being a competitor, there's a path of being a coach, there's a path of being an umpire. And I thought, wow, you know what? Yeah, I'd like that. And then obviously with our own tournaments, I liked umpiring, because what I loved was going back over the years, there was very unfair umpires.
Yeah.
Oh, he's from Kerry. There's two Kerry judges. He's going to win. He's from Dublin. There's two Dublin judges. He's going to win. And it was just, I suppose, how it was back then. But what I loved, once we started getting the proper training,
yeah,
the huge emphasis that was always put out there for umpires was, you're neutral. You show no bias.
Yeah.
What I loved is then being there, knowing that no matter who was there, if it was my own son came to black belt, it was my own son in front of me. If the other guy was better, he was getting my vote.
I know, we've all been there. I've had my own students on the mats, and sometimes you just have to turn the flag the other way because it's the right thing to do, you know.
And this is the thing, and I've always explained to them, guys, if as your instructor I vote for you and you win, I said I've done you a disservice, and for sure I've done the other competitor a disservice. And I said, then I've also compromised myself, because
I mean, like, we can't sit up there and pontificate around integrity and all of this, and then, you know, be the complete opposite because it's convenient for us. You know, it's not. It's not.
Like, for years, I wanted to go internationally compete. I watched the likes of Master Barry, Mr. Jack Sheehan, and a few more like that. Were always doing. I always wanted to go, but because then I started teaching full time 2008. But like no one that would cover my classes when I was gone. which meant because I was full time, I couldn't close the club for a week.
Yeah, okay.
Even though we're closed now, but I couldn't close for a week because it was my income.
Yeah.
And then eventually, when Miss Stanley came on board, and I felt comfortable enough, she's all her courses done. She's trained up.
Yeah.
She's an instructor in her own right now. So I know then now I can go and do this stuff.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to, from a financial point of view, to go, listen, I'm going to go to the Roma Open. I'm going to go to the Dutch Open. I'm going to go for all this international experience. But
yeah.
Not just from the financial side. As I said, I'm a single parent, so my daughter's 11, so I have her weekends. So if I'm going off like this all the time, I'm missing out on that.
No, there's a balance, right?
As you know now, as a new dad.
Yeah.
If someone says to you, listen, I need you work-wise, I need you to go away for a week, you're going to go,
Yeah, I know, right?
It is. This is a massive
especially nowadays, right?
You have a daughter as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
Listen, that's what they do.
Yeah, I'm sure. Look, I know.
And rightly so.
So, I mean, let me think about what for you, staying on the umpire and stuff. Which are harder divisions to mark for you? Is it sparring? Is it patterns? Is it spec? Is it power? What do you think the most? Where do you think the most kind of difficulties in modern umpiring lie, or what that sort of stuff?
I've never umpired power.
Wow. There you go.
Never have. I've seen even at our own ones, and I look, Mr. Byrne or Mr. John Moriarty, they're the go-to guys.
Yeah.
This is the one thing I would like to see maybe a bit more of, because unfortunately we specialize.
Whether through intention or accident, yeah.
Yes,
I know.
we specialize. I think everyone should be made do every part of it, and then you have a much broader knowledge. I think the hardest one to judge would be the pre-arranged free sparring.
Okay.
That is very, very tricky, because you have to keep in mind, have they done more than 3 acrobatic movements? What is classed as an acrobatic movement?
Yeah.
What in contact? Was that a final blow? Did they overstep? Is the time right? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas with a pattern, you know what the pattern is. You know the heights. You know the dimensions. You know what's happening. Changes is someone else's. You might be lucky enough to have seen it before, and now you're seeing it again. Then you can judge it a bit better.
And yet we still see, wide inconsistencies in something like patterns. I've seen pattern scores go up on the board before, and you're kind of, one eyebrow goes up, going, that's there's something wrong there, And I mean, I wonder, like, where does that discrepancy come from, and how do you think we can combat that?
A huge part of it that I've noticed is, if we go with patterns, so the international umpires that have been trained we're using all the modern technology, we're using our screens, and you're being sent stuff to say, right, have a look at this, what do you think? And then they can show it you frame by frame. And it's been broken down so much that you're able to see the mistakes. So you're getting more knowledge. Now, obviously, you're only making a real-time decision there and then.
Yeah.
But you have that knowledge from before of, okay, a lot of people are, as they're moving, there's a shoulder movement that shouldn't be happening. They're dipping too much. There's an extra little step that they shouldn't be taking. Like, simple. We know now, very, very basic. We go with Juche. Okay. You're here. You're raising the leg. The leg is going out. It's been held. If the foot on the floor hasn't turned, there we are. That's a mistake.
Yeah,
because what it means is they're relying solely on the adductor muscles here.
Yeah.
And then as they turn, they're already more or less turned.
Yeah.
And now, because that's spotted very, very clearly, we know this is one thing that's going to be a mistake if they don't do it. Whereas the very good competitors, everything works right.
I mean, the devil is definitely in the detail in patterns, isn't it?
Hugely. Even from like a step turn point of view, if the foot is turned beforehand. So I suppose the knowledge has gone up there because of media. It's recording what people are doing. You can break it down frame by frame, and you can go, there, that's where it is. To me, I think one of the hardest things to do is when we've seen it once or twice at our own tournaments. The coach will come up with the phone to you. Look, this is what happened. And you're going, guys, you got it from that point of view.
Yeah.
The umpires mightn't have seen that, and the centre referee didn't see it. You're taking it from that point of view. That's very hard for someone to see.
Would you like to see something like video review brought in for certain things?
Do you know what? I do like with the sparring where the WTF, I know the WT now, I always call them WTF, where a coach can, they have
challenge
so many,
or whatever.
Yeah, they have so many cards they can hand in, and it's a VAR. But sometimes, because then is that stopping the flow of the bout, which is
it's the classic argument around this sort of stuff, isn't it?
I can see the change. Like, geez, when I started umpiring, you stop when someone got hit too hard. Head Joe. The flow was go, go, go. It's starting to come back a bit now, because for a while it was stop, start, nearly to the point of point sparring.
Right.
Whereas now there's getting a bit more flow to it again, which is good, because, like, think about it yourself when you're sparring. Sometimes you need to set someone up to catch them with something. And if it's been stopped straight away, you're not getting that flow, because all competitors are very, very good.
It's an interesting one. I mean, like, I think Taekwondo sparring often gets a bit of a bad rap for its light contact or whatever, and especially in the wider martial arts world, people go, this is just tippy tappy stuff, and like, I mean, there's no good way to get kicked in the face for a start, but like,
yes,
I think it's getting a little bit better with the contact. I mean, I think there's going to be a big difference between green belt sparring and senior black belt sparring, and we expect the contact to be more there, I suppose. But how do you think Taekwondo, as a sort of or any traditional martial art, how do you think that's sort of sitting now in the modern martial arts world, where things like MMA and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and all of these martial arts are really in vogue at the moment, or styles or systems are, how does Taekwondo stay relevant in the modern world?
See, I suppose a huge thing for us is because, and this is just, I suppose, because I do watch a lot of stuff on different martial arts, and I do love to hear about different things, but a lot of people just see Taekwondo as it's for kids.
Yeah.
And they're all Mac dojos. Everyone's getting a belt. Everyone's getting this. Everyone's getting that. And when they're seeing very young black belts. Now, I do love the fact that our group has minimum age 13.
Yeah. I think it's good too.
It is. Sometimes I wonder whether maybe there's a bit more criteria needed for moving up higher in your level. Like I see a lot of groups, Scotland, a place like that. There's like, I won't say a thesis, but it's like you have to put in like a storybook to go for your black belt.
Right. Like a continuous assessment or something.
Knowledge in there. As a traditional martial art, I'm liking it. I'm liking the ISCs now, where they're starting to go back a bit more to, listen, when you block something, you got to make sure you're damaging someone's arm.
Right.
It's not about having it so perfect that your block goes and it's in the exact, so your out of form is chest line. Your like, if it goes slightly past and then back, you can taper it up or down for when you need to compete.
Yeah. It's I mean, again, there's more to Taekwondo. In my head, I always have it, there's more to Taekwondo than just combat, right? It's not just a combat sport. That's just a facet of what we do, And even today, I was able to do the class online for our students, and it was all technical and it was all fundamentals. And, because you can't spar online, like me and you can't physically hit each other now, but we can certainly talk about, well, like, this is how I think this one finishes and blah, blah, blah. And it's just a lovely system to have from that point of view, that you have the art side of the martial art as well as the and I think that's really nice. I think that's one of the things I think helps keep it relevant and keeps it interesting for people,
It does, and a huge thing is because we're very, very lucky. I mean, I've got over here, I have the 15-volume encyclopedia over here, and I know I can come back to the reference.
Yeah.
Or I can send an email to Grandmaster Morano. very happy to reply to you and say, sorry, in this, what was that thing? Or as we do when we go to our national technical seminars, you ask Mr. Ryan, Master Wheatley, whoever, and we can come to consensus, or you can go, no, I actually don't agree with that. And then you can look for clarification from the ITF Technical Committee, and they'll come back with, no, it's actually this.
It's nice the way that there's...
It is. We have a great
review.
backup for everything.
Super. Let me think. Sort of last few questions. How about we quick fire some Taekwondo questions at you and just get some good shot reactions. So, favorite pattern?
Favorite pattern would be Taege.
Favorite kick?
Favorite kick, I love Sangbang Chagi.
Sangbang, we all love a good Sangbang Chagi. Favorite hand technique?
Favorite hand technique would be bow wrist.
Oh, lovely, nice. And least favorite technique?
Least favorite technique. Ooh, that's a tricky one. I don't have any least favorite. I love them all.
Yeah, there's the answer.
To get ones that you can learn, and those ones we don't use in patterns. But if you go into the encyclopedia, they're there.
Yeah.
I love this one.
What about the pattern you definitely want at your next test? Well, it's obviously Taege, right?
No, I see. For me, I want to be challenged. So I definitely want Ju Che and Moon Moo.
There you go.
Yeah, why not? If you go and look for the easy ones, it's no good. You got to be challenged.
And I suppose, I mean, like, these are just sort of rapid fire fun questions just to sort of play with your brain and have a bit of crack. But is there anything else now? Supposing you're in Kerry and you're watching this now and you want to go training in Kingdom Taekwondo when COVID-19 is well and truly done, how can people get in touch with you and how can they find you and all of that?
Facebook, Instagram pages, Kingdom TKD. I teach Monday, Wednesday, Friday in Tralee, Tuesday and Thursday in Listowel. Give me a shout.
Yeah, big time. Well, Master, it's been a really interesting chat with you. I've had loads of fun, learned an awful lot. I suppose, look, when all of this blows over, we'll love to have you up to Carrick to do a bit of training with us at some stage. We'd love to let you come up and run a session and pick up some tips. It'd be really good for everyone, I think. But look, I hope you're staying safe and you're staying well, and if this all blows over quick. And
well, yeah, look, we can only all do what we can do.
Yeah,
I'm about to go out and grab my dog and take him for a good walk.
Good.
And then it's just chill for the night. Obviously, I have been looking at what ways I can help with my students. Do you know what? As much as I think it would be nice to go online and teach classes and that, there's somebody out there doing it. I mean, sometimes it's a case of why reinvent the wheel. There's lots of stuff out there for the minute for students, but I will contact my own students and just send messages and say, right, guys, if you'd like to, or even if it's Zoom to do different training. At the minute, I'm taking part in an online stretching course with there's a guy part of our ITF, and Mitch Vuteros in St. Martin's.
Super.
He's doing his thesis for his 4th degree on stretching. He's an instructor with the Leipzig elastic steel stretching.
Oh, okay.
And like I was on to him during the week. I did a class with him, 6 weeks of training with him at one stage. I'm going to say last year, but he's doing this for his thesis. So there's a few people he's doing it with. So I was with him on Wednesday, and tomorrow again at 1 o'clock. It's an hour and a half of stretching, and do you know what? It's fantastic. You're leaving sore with sweat dripping off you, and you don't feel you've done a lot.
That's cool. That's cool.
But I like what he's doing because I like the method of he's using and the explanations. To me, it's the best part. He can explain why he's doing what he's doing.
Right. That's
so if I would say to you, if you have an hour to kill there, I'll set you up with him, get in and do a session with it. It's good.
Absolutely, yeah. And for everyone else listening or watching, if you want to, we can certainly, if you want to pass the details on to me, I'll add it to the link.
Definite. And I think it'll be a fantastic thesis he does for his 4th degree. And it's everything else is more knowledge.
Indeed. Cool. Well, look, I think we should call it today.
Cool.
It's been a really good chat, sir. I really appreciate you taking the time out. Like I said, hopefully everything blows over soon and we can get back to doing
That's
back to
exactly
training.
it. Get back in and start doing extra stuff. And
Indeed.
look, the best to Rebecca and your little one as well. And
Thanks, sir.
enjoy the time you have with them.
Yeah, indeed. You too. Take care, right?
All right then. Slán.
Appreciate it. Slán, Slán. Thanks, sir.